As we move down to the start now of the Fawley Challenge Cup, in the Bucks station on the left-hand side, it is Clare's Court School A. On the right-hand side in the Bucks station, it is the Tideway Scullers School B. We've seen a lot of junior events this afternoon. And as I was saying earlier to Helen, Sean, I'm always amazed at the composure of the young athletes. But we're seeing a little problem here with the steering. The Tideway Scullers School B crew, the umpire, of course, flagging them across. Really struggling with that bit of stream there as they come past Temple Island.
Yes, that was a serious turn. And unfortunately, once you make one turn, you tend to overcorrect.
And it's the part of the race where you really can't afford to knock off any speed. You get so much speed out of the start. There's a lot of energy expenditure through that section of the race, and you really want to get everything that you can out of it. Steering and correcting that much wipes off all of that free speed, I think, that you really get in the first minute of the race.
Plus it gets the oarsmen thinking that things can go wrong, which you don't want them to think about that. But Clare's Court was the winner last year. They have one returning oarsman, so they have a lot of experience at that school. Tom Jost, the coach, I'm sure has them very well prepared, knowing the mettle of the other crews that they'll be racing against.
Yeah, Clare's Court, they were 4th place at the National Schools Regatta in the championship quads. And they certainly have the measure here of the Tideway Scullers School B crew.
Now for the Tideway Scullers, this is mostly their first Henley race. So it's a little bit of a different race than the Thames. Not quite as wide. And you can see how well Clare's Court is just sculling the boat along.
Yeah, they're looking really impressive here. Nice and flat and together, controlled. They have a considerable lead, and you can see that relaxation starting to really come into its own.
Yes, now they're moving away a bit from the booms to give themselves a little extra space. They have plenty of lengths to row the middle of the stream. What a fantastic view from the drone.
I love watching the quads from above too. Such an impressive boat. You can see the great angles. Really sculling very nicely here. Clare's Court School A crew. Oliver Costley, Jack Jesseman, Callum Pereira and Henry Osborne.
Looking like they have every bit of class to continue to march through the brackets.
And I mean, to be leading in this event in this fashion, I think is really impressive, because it is such a tough event to qualify for. We see so much strength in the junior men's and women's quads particularly. They're two of the most difficult events, I think, to qualify for and to compete in here at Henley.
Yes, I'm continually amazed at the sculling quality coming out of England. And the water is not flat. There's a fair bit of bump, and the scullers are handling quite well.
It's always a little deceptive when looking at it on camera. Tend to not get a feel for how tricky these conditions are. I mean, the way that this piece of water moves, it's so unique. And it's actually one of the things that the rowers love about coming here, is that it's a moving piece of water. Generally in fleet racing, and when we're competing, we're generally on a flat lake or body of water without too much movement in it.
Now Tideway's having a little more trouble steering.
Yeah, they've really struggled at a couple of points here with their steering. Of course, these boats being without coxswains means that there is one of the rowers in the crew who has a steering foot attached to a rudder. Generally, it'll be the person in the stroke seat, but not all the time.
I always find it's easier to steer from the bow, because the bow can actually see where the boat's going.
Yeah, I agree.
But Clare Court continues. Now they're sculling quite low and just moving the boat along, keeping the rhythm. but preserving some of their strength and endurance for tomorrow.
You really don't want to do more than you have to in these early rounds. I mean, these athletes can certainly handle at least one race a day, but it's more the process of getting ready for a race. I think that's the really exhausting part. It's coming down, having a pre-row, going through the warm-up procedure. All of that is a really draining exercise to go through, and so by the time you're getting to your third, fourth or fifth race, hopefully, it's actually, you're pretty exhausted by the end of it. So when you have these opportunities to have more of a relaxed race, I think you want to take them, get to Saturday and Sunday in as good a shape as possible.
Absolutely. Now Clare's Court can relax until tomorrow.
That's right. Clare's Court School A winning quite comfortably this round of the Fawley Challenge Cup, the junior men's quad over the Tideway Scullers B.